Hello and welcome back to Chubby Pug Yarn Podcast. This is episode 5. It's going so quickly. My name is Emma and I'm your host, and today Alphonse is with me. He's being a little bit of a cuddle pug today and a tired one as well. He was up late yesterday, so he's quite tired today. And as you can see, I'm back in my living room. And behind me I got my Christmas tree. Actually, I'm kind of breaking the Christmas traditions with having the Christmas tree up already. I'm not sure if you know, but at least some families in Sweden and also Norway, I think, usually get up their tree like the day before Christmas Eve or at Christmas Eve, depending on. So putting it up this early is kind of unusual, but I got some Christmas presents that my parents brought when they were here in November, because they are not going to visit me up here. So I thought it would look much more nicer and I would get a little bit more of a Christmas feel if I put up the Christmas tree and put down the presents below it. The weather here is not so Christmassy. It's often like 2 degrees Celsius. It have been snowing some days and then it's too hot and then it melts, so we got ice everywhere but no snow, so it's quite boring. I'm one of those who really enjoys snow, and I enjoy Christmas, so it feels kind of strange not to have like the Christmas spirit yet. But I have been trying with the Christmas tree, and I have been eating some gingerbread cookies, or what you call them, and having some mulled wine and stuff. So it's sneaking up on me some spirit of Christmas at least. So that's nice. I'm not going to stay here in Norway for Christmas, so I'm going home to Sweden. Or actually we're going to my boyfriend's family for Christmas, and then I'm going home to my family to New Year's with the dogs. So I'm really looking forward to it. It has been 2 weeks since I last recorded. I had quite a lot of trouble with a lot of cutting last time, so I hope it will work well this time, but we'll see. Probably there will be some disturbance when my boyfriend comes home. He's out Christmas shopping. Usually all stores in Norway are closed on Sundays, which I'm not used to when I moved here. But now, the 2 weeks before Christmas, they have like small open hours, even during Sundays, so you can shop all the things you need. And I'm quite tired today, so he offered to go shopping, so that's pleasing. But maybe I should go on to my knitting. I have knitted quite much these 2 weeks. So I have a real finished object, which is my Water for Elephant socks. I'm really pleased. It's like a little happy dance whenever I actually complete a pair of socks. The first sock I actually knitted in July on my vacation, and then I haven't had the feeling for it, but now I brought the other sock to work and had it as lunch knitting. So usually I knit like 20 minutes every lunch at work. Can bring it closer. So It's just 2x2 ribbing at the top, and this gorgeous pattern all around it, even on the bottom. So yeah, I'm really pleased with them. I knitted these on 2.5mm cubics, which is my new favorites, so I use them quite a lot. They are knitted in Drops Fabel, which is fingering weight sock yarn, wool and nylon. I don't know the percentages, but it's just plain sock yarn. And then I have some almost done. Let's see, I need to reach. The pug is in the way. I have got a little bit of touch of the Christmas spirit, as I said, and I keep it in my pug bag. It's so cute. And the things inside are almost as cute. I really must thank James of Dancing Geek, because I got a lot of this done yesterday evening and night, since he had a 4 hours live podcast. So I had made up the sofa with tea and ice cream and the computer connected to the TV, and sat there and knitted for 4 hours straight. It was really nice. And he thought I was kind of crazy for knitting color work, chatting and watching the podcast, but I got really much done. So here's the one that is closest to finished. I knit this Christmas ornaments. So this one I have sewn the bottom and stuffed it, so I just need to do a hank for it. I don't know if you can see, but I have like over there and there I have some in my Christmas tree, and I thought I needed some more. So this is number 1, and also I have the one I showed last time with the bells on them. It's quite some bling with the glitter. And then let's see, one of those I knitted yesterday was with hearts on them. These aren't stuffed yet, so they are not quite finished objects. And let's see, and then I have one with, let's see, pug is almost falling down my lap. One with a pig on it, with a heart. And here is one. And so I have 5 of these that I have shown. They are knitted on 2.5mm needles. And what you do is you knit like 5, I think it's easier to see on this one. You knit like 4 parts that are the same, or as on this one you knit, so it's one on each side. So you repeat the pattern around it. And the pattern comes from a book about these ornaments. I will talk a little bit about it later. And then, because in the book there are 55 different patterns and the possibility to design your own, which is quite a nice thing. And this year they had like for an organization that collects money for poor people and children without families. They designed 4 new ones that you could buy as a PDF. I think you can buy it even international, but the pattern is in Norwegian. Frank? Frank is a little bit worried when Daddy isn't home. It's okay. Yeah, so they have designed 4 new patterns that you can buy as a PDF. It's in Norwegian, but they have like the diagram, so it's really, really easy to understand. And or if you want, if someone wants to knit it, I can help you translate it. Yeah, so I knitted one from the new ones too. So yeah, just need to make up all the ends. It's 2 ends and on each side. So I need to fill them and sew them together and hang them in my tree. So maybe I should show you the book directly, since I don't have any more knitted finished objects. So the designers is a Norwegian couple called Arne and Carlos. So I have this book in Swedish, since that's my native language. So jul is Christmas, and kulor is kind of translated to balls actually. So the English title is 55 Christmas balls to knit. I prefer to call them Christmas ornaments, but I don't know if it's wrong. But that's Arne and Carlos on the front. Let's see. So they have like explanations about how you do to knit and how you do the hanks most easily. And then they have, let's see, they have pictures with all the ornaments and some inspiration. So they write on every pattern like the history behind the pattern, or what you can do, or why they get extra Christmas feelings. And they have it divided in different parts. So they are like Christmas candies, Christmas hearts, and Christmas animals, and religious motives. So it looks like that, for example. And then they have like an empty quarter in the back, like that, so you can design your own. I could really recommend it if you're into knitting Christmas ornaments. It's available in Swedish, Norwegian, and English at least, and probably a lot more languages. And I think this design couple is kind of fun. I learned about them before I went to Norway, and then when I moved here to Norway, I realized they are really huge here. They have like collaborations where they design like knitting clothing for. It's called Husfliden. It's like a craft organization. I don't know how to explain it. That they are working for preserving the craft and traditions with like the traditional national clothing that you embroider and stuff, knitting. And so they have the yarn in the shops where they have. So in the most bigger cities, at least, they have like Husfliden from the store, from the organization. They have yarn and materials for national clothing and stuff. And they have collaborations with this designer couple. So actually, I also have one of the other books they have about knitting dolls. So this is the interpretation of themselves. So I'm actually knitting one of these, but I'm halfway finished with the body. And it's the same in this one. They have like a basic pattern and then have some alterations, and they have presentations of the different persons Let's see if I can find my favorite somewhere. Yeah, so they have like different dolls, like this one. She is called Lolita, Claire. And then she have, on this one, she has like a polo sweater with a skull on it. And then they have like different outfits. So she can have a skirt with spiders instead. Or perhaps she wants something completely different. They have like basic pattern for the clothing as well. So maybe she wants a traditional sweater, who knows? So it's quite creative because you can decide quite much for yourself. And then I also have the last book I have with these guys is called Strikk fra Setesdal. Strikk is the Norwegian word for knitting. It's a sticka in Swedish and strikk in Norway, so it's quite similar. Setesdal is a place in Norway where they are really proud of their traditional knitting, and this is new designs with inspiration from old traditional patterns. I haven't knitted anything from it yet, but I have some really pretty stuff. Let's see. They have both big and small stuff. They have like sweaters, like those. It's really hard to not get the glare. And mittens. These are one of my favorites. I don't know if it's available in English. I haven't checked, but I really like it, and it's part of my my quest. I don't know, my need to explore. Oh, now will be a committee of welcoming here. And I'm back. As I was saying, since I moved to Norway, I have been exploring the Norwegian knitting traditions. So I have been reading up a lot and looking for traditional Norwegian patterns and also modern knitting patterns from Norway or from Norwegian designers. And so that's how I found out about Pickles. The girls that have a shop in Oslo which also have an online shop that I buy from quite a lot. So I saw quite a lot of them, I think. Yeah, and it's in tea. Today is Christmas rooibos in my cup to get some more Christmas spirits. To get some more Christmas spirit. Yeah. But actually I have finished something else. It's not about knitting. It's my spinning. Because when my parents came, they brought something I have been waiting for quite a bit. My first spinning wheel. So let's see if I can show you it without having too much earthquake. There it is. Earthquake. So there it is. It's my grandmother's. She went on a textile. Let's see if I can make the computer stand still. She went on a textile course or something when she was younger and bought the spinning wheel and haven't been using it for a while. So she asked if I wanted to take care of it instead. So, and I said yes, of course. so I have been doing my first spinning on the spinning wheel, and here is the result. It's actually the same fiber that I have on my drop spindle, but this one is finished, the drop spindle is not. So it's mostly purples and blues, some white, and some small speckles of green and red. I don't think they show so clearly. It's 4 o'clock here in the afternoon, so it's already dark outside, so I don't get so much natural light. Yeah, so I have spun it 2-plied with an S twist, I think it's called. It's quite thick and thin. I haven't measured it yet, so I'm not sure about the average thickness, but it's 100 gram. And it's I have bought this fiber on a Norwegian store called Spinnvilt, but the fiber is from Ashford, so it's merino and silk, and gemstone is the colorway. So I'm quite pleased with my first complete skein. I don't know if I'm going to knit with it or what I'm going to knit with it, but we'll see. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I think that's all the finished stuff. If I'm going to continue with this spinning, as soon as I got finished with the Ashford merino silk yarn, I thought I needed to practice more. Usually when I get home in the evening, I go for a walk with my boyfriend and our dogs, and then usually he makes dinner and he likes to play music while he cooks, and then I take the opportunity to spin for that time every day. So I get like half an hour, 45 minutes of spinning Monday to Friday with some music, so that's quite nice. So the next fiber I tried was 100% alpaca in just plain gray. It's also from Spinnvilt. So this is my single. This is about half the amount, I think. I'm not completely sure. I found it much harder to spin the alpaca. It wants to be spun much more thick, and it like breaks more easily. But I think I'm getting a hang of it, so I'm going to spin up the other half, or maybe I need to spin even more and make a 2-ply of these two just to practice. So we'll see. If you have watched this podcast before, you know that I have some quite fancy fibers in my stash, but actually I'm too scared to try one of those yet because I don't want to ruin it. So as I'm getting to know the spinning wheel, I take like basic fibers that I can get like how much I want from. So Spinnvilt is a shop in Lillehammer, so it's about, I think it's about an hour and a half, or maybe, I'm not sure. I have been on the train to Lillehammer once to go on a course in the shop. They have like a weekend where we were learning to spin and trying different spinning wheels. It was quite good because before I went there, I was really sure that, I want an Ashford Elizabeth, or maybe a traditional. But when I tried it, it didn't like wanted to work with me. And also everybody told me that, you need a double treadle because it's much more ergonomic and works much more better. but since I can't use my left leg, I couldn't handle the double treadle spinning wheels. So it was a good experience to try it and see what things work and what things that didn't. So when I'm buying a new spinning wheel sometime in the future, it will be single threaded. If you say so, I'm not sure. But one treadle. I'm not sure about which brand yet, but I can enjoy myself on the old spinning wheel and make up to see if I'm still having an interest for spinning some years from now, because you never know, your interest may change. And if I'm going to my works in progress, you're not going to be surprised. I'm still working on Rock the Lobster, but actually I have been knitting quite a lot. So the marking here is when you saw this last, I think. So I have knitted and tried it on Monica, who is receiving it. So now I'm going to, because I have added some extra shaping in the waist. I don't think you can see it. Ooh. But yeah, there are some extra shaping in the waist, and she wants it to be really long. So I'm going to lengthen it. I don't know, maybe 20 centimeters, or maybe even more, I'm not sure. So since I have been taking in for shaping in the waist, I need to expand a little bit for the hips. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm knitting like crazy, but my plan to be done before Christmas is looking quite dark, since I'm only going to be here in Norway for another week. But we will see how much knitting time I get, and I keep it in my beautiful bag. Bird leg bags, yeah. So with a skull on it. I actually love skeletons and skulls and pugs and a lot of other things. But my monogamy knitting was broken last week. I have had yarn at home for a baby sweater, and I desperately wanted to start with it, so here is my progress. This is going to be a baby sweater. Let's see if I fold it. So I'm knitting it from the arm to the body, and then I'm going to knit the other arm, and then there's going to be a little button in the opening in the front. So it's just garter stitch back and forth, and then you're going to seam under the arm and in the side. So this is a pattern from Pickles, surprise surprise, and I'm knitting it in Pickles merino tweed. So I'm knitting it with 2 strands. It's like dusty pink with speckles of white and blue. Maybe you can see it easier on the fabric. Yeah, it's turning out really pretty. So I think I'm going to give it to my little cousin. She's quite small. I'm not sure, she's 9 months or something, 8 months, I'm not sure, but I think the size will be quite good for her, so I'm probably bringing it home for Christmas. I actually like to knit baby sweaters because then I have the possibility to try new techniques and also try new yarns. So this merino tweed I have never knitted with before, and I really like it a lot. So when I have tried it on a baby sweater and see how it behaves when I wash it, then I can evaluate if I want to knit something like for myself. So it's like a big test of the yarn and how the fabric turns out. So I have a quite huge stash of baby sweaters, and since I don't have any children yet, I just giving it away when I find babies that fit the sweaters. And this year I got a little cousin, so she's probably getting going. She's going to receive quite a lot of my knitting in the closest couple of years, I bet. But I think it's nice. It's nice to soon be going home to see everybody and give people knitted stuff. So yeah. And except from, yeah, sorry, I didn't mention the pattern that I'm knitting this in is called Plain Grandpa Sweater. So I'm going to put in a picture from Pickle's website, or perhaps from Ravelry. I'm not sure where I can find a picture of it, so you can see it. And I will link all the patterns I'm talking about in the show notes, of course. So I have actually been working on something else a little bit in the sofa. I have been having a Walking Dead marathon because I have not been watching it for a while because I have troubles with getting nightmares. So when I watch too much zombies, I don't sleep so well, so I cannot watch too much at a time. But I have been doing some, I don't know if it's called wool embroidery, but it's a wool fabric and wool thread. So I can see myself. The white lines is where I'm going to be doing some more embroidery. So I made the black and some gray. So this is going to be a nice pillow for my sofa. I'm not used to doing embroidery, so it's something new for me, but I like it quite a lot. I'm also wanting to try cross stitching, but we'll see. I have so much knitting and spinning to do, so we'll see when I get the time to try something new. I really like to try new stuff, so probably won't be long until I try some of this stuff. Hello, Alphonse. My dog is looking for candy on the floor. Yeah. So I have been talking about my knitting. Yeah, my knitting desire. Last week I had quite a big list, but this week I have actually only been thinking and talking about one pattern. It's for a really beautiful cardigan. I have been wanting to knit myself some cardigans for a while. Haven't been able to do that yet, but I have plans to knit several cardigans. So the cardigan that have been is highest on my queue. It's called Sophie. Let's see, and it's by Jennifer Wood. So it's for DK. And if I'm able to, I will insert a picture of it here. I have a plan to knit mine in green, but I am not sure which yarn to choose yet. It's quite hard to find soft yarns that fit my color preferences. Here in Norway, it's quite often more rough yarns, and if I'm going to have it like on my bare skin, I want it a little bit more soft, but they have like really huge fees for importing yarn, so we'll see what I do. But that's my knitting desire of the week. And then I come to my knitted garment. And unfortunately, I haven't been using so much knitted garments since there is no snow. It's not so cold, so but I have one favorite since last autumn, or actually it's two patterns, but I have used them as a set. So it's one hat. It's a free pattern called Worm embroidery, and I have knitted it in Manos del Uruguay silk blend. So it's blues and purples and greens, and it's like ridges on it. It's quite slouchy, but it works quite well for me, and it doesn't like mess up my hair too much. And when I knitted it, I found a pattern for fingerless gloves. So they are called welted fingerless gloves. So they also have those ridges. I'm not sure if this is a pay for pattern, but it's a really nice one. I did some adjustments because I have quite wide hands, but it's a really nice design, quite easy, so it's for beginners. I like the increases for the thumb, and I like how I can use this together. So, and it's really soft since silk blend from Manos del Uruguay is really soft. It's not that warm, but since I'm quite warm myself, I prefer this when it's not like -10 or something. So until then I can use this, so I use it quite a lot. So I knitted this last year, and both me and my boyfriend use it quite a lot. It's really nice. And I saw I have gotten some comments on the Icelandic sweater I showed last time. So I also want to show you one of my future knittings, since I bought quite a lot of yarn on Iceland, and it's like some people say, it's a very special yarn, because I don't know if it's the sheep's living conditions, but the wool is quite special, and they have a quite special kind of yarns. The basic ones they have is called loopy and let loopy, which is 2 different thickness. But then they have this gorgeousness. I see it's getting really dark since I'm getting these speckles on the screen. It's dark brown, and what is special with this, it's like a spun easy spun single, so it's really easy to break. But if you knit it with like 2 strands, you get a really nice fabric, they say. So this yarn is, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I think it's Plötelupi or something. So I have 300 grams in dark brown, and also I have this light tan, or yeah, so it's 600 grams, all single plied. So I'm going to knit an Icelandic sweater with it, but that's probably have to wait. Hope the bag is not making too much noise. Yeah, so I'm going to knit some Icelandic sweater, or one Icelandic sweater of the yarn, probably next year. So that will be my New Year's knitting, maybe. We'll see. I have so many plans and so little knitting time, so Yeah. And also when I'm talking about Iceland, I really must show the beautiful bag that is working as my priority knitting bag when I go to knitting nights. I haven't done it recently, or when I'm traveling, I use this pretty bag that I bought in Iceland. So it's circular with an inner lining in blue and pocket with some burnt orange fabric. So this bag was, if you bought from this company, they some of the money goes to like empowering women in poor countries where they to have their own work and salary and stuff. But they sold it on Iceland, so I use it all the time. I'm not a bag person so much, but I have that one and I use it. Yeah, I think that's all this time. It seems like my recording schedule ends up with every other week. We will see if I will be able to make every week next year. I'm not sure about the schedule for Christmas and New Year's. I hope his snoring isn't too loud. But yeah, because I'm going to be here in Norway until Saturday, so it's 6 days, and then I'm going away to my boyfriend's family, and then we are going out to a little island, and we have no internet connection, so I won't be able to upload any recordings. And then I'm going to my parents, which have quite poor internet connection, so I will be able to like hang out on Ravelry and the forums and stuff, but I'm not sure if they have like the speed enough to be able to upload to YouTube. I have some problem with it here. The last time it took 2.5 or 3 days to upload it, since my connection isn't that good, and my parents have about the same, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have the time to record and upload. But otherwise I will be back here 4th of January on late night, and I start work on Monday, but I promise I will be back. I hope I can have a recording between Christmas and New Year's, but I can't promise anything. But I will be on Instagram, so please follow me there. I'm Distortion, and also you can chat with me in the Ravelry group, Chubby Pug Yarn Podcast, so you can search for it and write something, and feel free to contact me if you have some suggestions on what you want me to talk about. Maybe you want to know something about Norway or Sweden or about me. I don't know. So please contact me, send a message. It doesn't have to be long. Just say hello so I know who you are. Yeah. I also, before I leave you for Sunday cozy time, I also want to recommend, if you are out looking for new podcasts, and there's a girl named Frida. She's also Swedish. She have been doing a video podcast for about a little bit more than a year, I think, in Swedish. Sorry. Yeah, so she have been talking knitting and spinning, but in Swedish. And since she also have a lot of international friends, she have decided to move. so she's making a new podcast in English instead. So if you can't get enough of us Scandinavians, I can really recommend her. So it's Knitting with You. I will link to her in my show notes, so check her out. I hope you will have a lot of knitting time and drink a lot of tea and be with your family and friends. So if you don't hear from me, take care and Merry Christmas.